Ever have a class clown in your class growing up? At least one time throughout your student career, especially in grammar school, especially below grade 5 and down? Just saying, just saying. Let's talk about this. What? Back in a minute. Hey, good morning, good morning. This is Jan from New York City. My channel name is Jan from New York City. Saves money, and I love, love, love helping people to keep a lot of their hard-earned money. Well, at least some of it. There you go. How's everybody doing today? Hey, let's jump right into it. Did you ever go to school? And actually, as a former teacher, I could tell you this. Inevitably, every single class that I ever taught had at least one person. I have to say at least because sometimes the class clowns of the room like work in groups, maybe one to two, maybe even three. Oh boy, heaven forbid that. Listen, if you ever dealt with class clowns, let me tell you something. What is a class clown? Maybe, I don't know, maybe today it's different, but I could tell you for a fact, back in the 1960s and 70s, and even all the way through to the 80s and the 90s when I was teaching, 60s and 70s was when I was a student, but 80s and 90s when I was a teacher, there is always that class clown, the one that thinks everything is a hilarious joke. And this is the way they show up as a clown. A lot of the people never took them seriously. And it makes you wonder why, oh, why does this person show up as the class clown? I believe in many cases it's an attention getter. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. Or some people maybe have a future, I don't know, a future career thought to become a comedian or something, for real, for true. And actually, here's the ironic part, a couple of my own students turned out to be stand-up comics, not famous that to the degree I know of, but local New York places and whatever. I don't necessarily remember them as the class clown, meaning they didn't disrupt the class. They were very studious, actually. Go figure, go figure. Here's the question of this day. How do you show up? Not for first through fifth grade, because I highly doubt any first through fifth graders listening to this broadcast. It's not meant for you anyway. It's not meant for kids anyway. Anyway, making a long story short, how do you show up for your life? Whoa, that's a big question. That's a big question. I was listening to, I like to listen to motivational speakers because it's important to get that little push in the beginning of the day. So I just came across a motivational speaker, and one of the questions, actually one of the statements that person made was that, how do you show up for yourself? I said, whoa, that is a good question. How do you show up for yourself in life? Now, there was an episode on that show, Leave It to Squirrel. So I'm going to keep it at that. You know what I meant. So the squirrel and his pals happened upon this really cool fad shirt. It was, I have to say, it was innovative for back in the day. This is something that was like a brand new concept. Now, just remember, we're talking about how people behaved in school in the middle, late 50s and early 60s. So to wear this kind of a shirt to school was an outrage. Okay, not like today where people say, oh, that's a cute shirt, and that's the end of that, self expression or whatever. So this was a first, a pioneer in the field, if you will, a trailblazer. So the group of Squirrel and his friends found these very sci-fi looking monster shirts. I have to tell you, they were really cool shirts. I wish I had one of those just for a collectible. OMG. I can't even describe what the shirts look like. Let's just say it was like some crazy monster, like five eyes on the face, and it's just really, really weird. So just imagine if you know the show Leave It to Squirrel, then it goes against the rules and regulations in that school in Mayfield. Okay, there you go. Can you just imagine the assistant principal taking a look at that? Well, that's what happened. Here's what happened. Okay, so Squirrel was convinced that all of his friends are going to defy the rules of the school and wear these shirts to school. And of course, as usual, Squirrel goes along with everything and believes everything. Well, everybody else and their friends' parents caught them with those shirts on, and they were like, you cannot leave this house and go to school like that. Who shows up with the shirt? Take three guesses. Squirrel. So all the other kids, including the friends that were cajoling the squirrel to wear the shirt, were sitting in the classroom. So they were just sitting there looking all innocent with their little hands folded on their desk. And lo and behold, who walks into the classroom? The only one, the only one, because that person did not know how to say no, but he's a kid and he had to learn, okay? So he walked in. OMG, how the class ridiculed, laughed. I felt actually sorry. I felt really, really sorry for him. I really, really did. Oh my gosh. So, of course, this prompted a quick exit out of the room, a trip to the principal's office, and the inevitable phone call to the parent. Now, back then, they trusted, let's say, one parent's authority a little more than another. So, inevitably, they asked dad to come in. Oh, okay. So, dad had to come down in the middle and disrupt his office day only to see when Squirrel walked into the principal's office. uh, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It just wasn't good. Question: how did he show up for the class that day? Do we show up in life? Doesn't have to be in a classroom. It could be in our own home or apartment. I'm not talking about our personal appearance, although sometimes certain things do influence certain things. If you lead a sloppy appearance, sometimes you lead a sloppy life, but that's another show. Trust me on that one. But the question is, how do we show up for things in life? I could tell you this much. I was listening to a few points from the same motivational, hello, motivational speaker about what how successful people show up in their life. These are people that have clear goals. These are people who are very well off financially. These are the movers and the shakers of the world, okay? Now, one of the most important things, this was like the first thing that was mentioned, was that highly successful people make it a point. Write this down if you need to, or just write it down in your mental notes. Make it a point to get adequate sleep. Adequate sleep. Now, for some people, it's no problem. Go to bed. It's dark out, and they wake up, and there goes Mr. Sunshine. Nice. That's the perfect way to sleep. Hello. No interruptions whatsoever. No getting up in the middle of the night. That cannot be helped. Getting up in the middle of the night, go right back to bed. A lot of people listening are like, yeah, Chad, I get up at least 2 or 3 times. I hear you. Trust me, I do hear you on that. But here's the thing, if we can make our atmosphere as best as possible, because we have to, how, for example, our own rooms, our own sleeping sanctuaries, if you will, are they a sanctuary? Or does it look like something out of, I don't know, like a just like a chaotic chaotic atmosphere? Ask yourself this. Only you can answer that question. Do you make it a point to show up for yourself in your own home in a good manner? Do you believe you are worth it, having that little bit of that sanctuary to help you get that adequate rest? You see where I'm going with this? Everything is like a domino effect, just like the squirrel who listened to friends who swore up and down they would all show up with their funny class clown sweatshirts, whatever, back in the old days, okay? Of course, inevitably they didn't, and the only one who showed up looking like that and getting ridiculed and laughed at was the squirrel. Ask yourself, how do I wish to show up today? Another suggestion that helps people become highly successful. Highly successful. Take that minute of motion, of movement. Make your bed too. Make your bed first. Here's a simple trick. While your coffee is brewing, or the water is boiling, or whatever, you're getting your morning drink of the day ready, your cold, whatever. Take it out of the refrigerator if you like sparkling water. Put it down. Walk to bed. Make bed. What? Put it down. Walk to bed. Make bed. There were people that actually wrote books about this topic, about how highly important it is. First task of the day. You know what my first task of the day is? Get up, turn on hot water for instant coffee. You know I drink my instant coffee. This is proof positive, right? Instant coffee is getting the water's getting boiled, okay? Run back to bedroom, make bed. Boil water, make bed. Two things at the same time. Nice. Bed made, sit down, have instant coffee. Then I have the audacity to listen to my own show about instant coffee. Hey, I have to listen to myself on playback once in a while, right? And go, oh, okay, that sounds all right. Or, gee, I could have improved upon that. Or this, we're our own worst critics sometimes. Highly successful people do a number of things. Next thing, move your body. Move your body. If you could take a 10-minute walk, take a 10-minute walk. If you can't, if your neighborhood is like you just don't want to walk around your neighborhood, it's too dark out, you don't feel right, or whatever, you have challenges for whatever the reason, you could still exercise at home. Doesn't matter if you're exercising inside of your house or outside of your house. When it's first thing in the morning, put on some of your favorite music. You want to know what I was moving around to the tune of a TV show that used to be on. It used to be on, I think it ran from the middle late 50s, and I don't know when it ended. I don't know if it did end. Maybe it did end. I don't know. Let's just put it this way. The last word of the show title was bandstand. So I love that particular opening theme of that show. That's it. I'm just saying, can be found right here at the touch of a button. Take advantage of all these resources right under your nose. So I moved around, moved around. Why are these things so important? And make sure to pull away from stressful things. You know, ever notice like when you get a clean notebook, a brand new notebook? I love brand new notebooks. How many people listening out there love to get a brand new notebook? I love, love, love brand new notebooks. There's something about when you open up the book, right? And the book is full and it's untattered and there's clean pages. Just like it's a fresh start. It's a fresh start. So imagine your brand new day as a fresh start, like a clean, untouched notebook. You're the narrator, you're the writer, you're the person that's going to write out your day. How do you show up in the classroom of your life? Do you remember when you were working full time, like at an outside location? Some still do. Some listeners still do. Some are retired, some never started, whatever. But for the people that did work at an outside location, that worked with coworkers, I know that sounds really funny that I have to describe it because things have changed so greatly as far as the dynamics of the workforce today. It's a different world than when I started my careers, believe me. But anyway, did you ever notice like how some coworkers, some showed up this way, some showed up that way? Some folks looked like they stepped right out of a bandbox. They look perfect every single day, perfectly coiffed. Some people look, well, like they fell out of bed, didn't make their bed, didn't have their cup of coffee, maybe had 2 minutes sleep. This is real life. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. But more than likely, if we, all of us, including yours truly, if we make it a point to raise that bar a little bit better each day, let me tell you, you're going to be more productive. You're going to create more money. You're going to get to keep more money. You're going to get to spend more money. You're going to live your not struggle life. The struggle life is not a fun life. And some people are very, very used to it. I want to talk to you more about that tomorrow. So come back tomorrow about the struggle life. We're going to get into it for a few minutes tomorrow. All right, everybody, listen, how do you show up for yourself today? Let me know in the comment section below. By the way, if you found value in this video, you need to this thing has such a delay. I don't know what the problem is. But anyway, you need to consider pressing down that like button. Don't consider, just tap the like button. It raises the algorithm, and I could help others that way. You doing this helps others, and it helps me too. Have an amazing day, and sorry about that little delay there. Have a great day, everyone. Take good care now. Bye bye.